Aaron Freeman here of Locked On Falcons, joined by Marcus Mosher of Locked On Cowboys, and it is Crossover Thursday presented by PrizePicks. Download the app and use code LOCKEDONNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. So, Marcus, what are 3 things the Dallas Cowboys have to do to win this game on Sunday, a.k.a. keys to victory?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. You just have to stop the Falcons in the red zone. Like, you're going to give up yards. Dallas gave up 470 yards of offense to the 49ers last week, and most Cowboy fans thought they did a good job. Like, that's just kind of where we're at with this defense right now. Like, it's not the defense we've seen for the last couple of years. They're going to give up yardage. But when we get to the red zone, make Atlanta kick field goals, or at least make them have to make the decision whether to go for it on 4th down or not. And you've got to force some turnovers, right? If they go another game without being able to force any takeaways, they're just not going to win. So takeaways on defense, get some red zone stops. And then on offense, stop shooting yourself in the foot. The Cowboys can move the ball on offense. We've seen that all year, but their red zone offense has been terrible. Dak Prescott has thrown multiple interceptions in 3 straight games. First time he's ever done that. If they can avoid the major mistakes and be efficient, control the ball, control the clock, they're going to keep themselves in this game. And you just never know. You never know what's going to happen in some of these NFC games. Get to the 4th quarter, make it a 1-score game, give yourself a chance to steal a game that you probably shouldn't win.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the Falcons, you look at sort of their 3 keys to victory. I think number 1, you don't want Dallas to have a get-right game. Number 2, you just want to run the football as effectively as other teams have done against this Cowboys defense. And, piggybacking on the point you made is win the turnover battle, right? And when I talk about getting right, don't let Dallas get right? Cowboys 32nd in the NFL in rushing the offense. They're 31st in the NFL in red zone offense, right? And the Falcons are historically known for being that get right team where it's like whatever issues you're dealing with, you can do it against the Atlanta Falcons. And this year hasn't been too different. Their red zone defense isn't particularly good. Their rushing defense isn't particularly good. So don't let Dallas get into a groove and have that type of game that we're talking about that they haven't necessarily been able to have. And then just break their will with the Falcons' own run game, right? I know some of these stats can be a little misleading because teams tend to run the football more when they're up in games. But under Mike McCarthy, when teams run for over 140 yards against the Cowboys are 5-15. I think they've lost 11 straight times when teams have hit that benchmark. So let's make it 12 if the Atlanta Falcons are doing what they're able to do. And then, of course, win the turnover battle. I think turnovers are going to be key in this game because guess which 2 quarterbacks lead the NFL, according to PFF, in turnover-worthy passes or turnover-worthy plays this year. It's Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins. So there's going to be probably a little bit of chaos. There's probably going to be a back-and-forth game. It's probably going to come down, as you say, to, some of these closing minutes and something wonky could happen. 7 out of the Falcons' 8 games this year have been 1-score games, basically midway through the 4th quarter. And so that's a razor-thin margin for error. The Falcons have been able to finish the majority of those games, but you never know. And a turnover here or there can put you behind the 8 ball in these situations. And so that could be critical to winning this game in what is probably going to be a closer game than Falcon fans would want. But as you say, like, that plays, I think, potentially to the strengths of the Cowboys to potentially steal one.
Yeah, and look for the 3rd quarter to be the deciding quarter in this one. No team in the NFL has been worse in the 3rd quarter than the Dallas Cowboys. They just can't get their offense right after halftime. I think it's an indictment on Mike McCarthy that they're not making the correct halftime adjustments. So we saw last week the Cowboys went into that game against the 49ers with a 10-6 lead. Coming out of the 4th quarter, they were suddenly down, I believe it was 27-10. Like, that's how fast things turned in that game. If the Cowboys can keep this close coming out of the 3rd quarter, I think they've got an excellent chance to win. But I think that 3rd quarter could be awfully dangerous for Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what's what. Any sort of closing thoughts, Marcus, before we duck out of here?
Yeah, this is a really tough matchup for Dallas because they just don't have the horses on the defensive line to stop the run game, right? So I fully expect them to have to try to load up to stop the run, and that's going to leave a lot of one-on-one opportunities against Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Darnell Mooney. And with DeRon Bland likely not going to play in this game, Kalen Carson, the rookie corner, likely not going to play. His backup, Amani Ojawari, was put on injured reserve this week. The Cowboys could literally be down to their 5th and 6th outside corner in this matchup. They're going to need a lot of luck to win this game. but we've seen in the NFL anything can happen. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, Kirk Cousins is known to introduce a little chaos into things. So that may go in Dallas's favor. So we'll see if the Falcons can build off of their success. We'll see if the Cowboys can rebound off of some recent struggles in this matchup. Again, I think it's going to be a fun matchup